everybody, I'm Amy from BodyFit by Amy, and today I want to talk to you about diastasis recti in pregnancy. So I am currently about 31 weeks with my second child, and I'm already seeing some signs of diastasis recti, or sometimes you hear it called diastasis recti. So I wanted to share a little bit about it in pregnancy. Most of the work and the diagnosis is done once you have had your baby. So if you are postpartum and you're wondering, I'm gonna go ahead and link the videos that I already have right up here. And then after this pregnancy, I will of course be making more videos in my own repair and recovery, and I will link those as well and put everything in the description below. So check those out as well. But since I'm pregnant, I wanted to talk a little bit about what it is, how you know if you might have it, and what you can do to prevent it. So diastasis recti, diastasis means separation. So it's the separation of your outer layer of abdominal muscles. So our abdominals are made up of this outer layer. It's called the rectus abdominis, and sometimes we talk about that when we talk about the six-pack. And then we also have our internal and external obliques, and then our transverse abdominis that we talk a lot about in our core work and postpartum recovery. That's our deepest layer, often ignored, and I'm trying to do more videos targeting that, so look for those. So diastasis recti is the separation of that connective tissue right in the middle, holding the right and the left sides of our abdominals together. So it is common when you are pregnant to get a little bit of separation. That's all normal. Your uterus is pushing out against your abdominals, and then everything is relaxing and the hormones are making it so your body is able to expand, but sometimes that results in a separation. So we all get a little bit of it, but sometimes we get a little bit more. In postpartum, if you are diagnosed and it is more than a 2-finger gap, that's usually what's considered diastasis recti. So a true diagnosis needs to come from a doctor or a physical therapist or a pelvic floor specialist. If you think you might have that, go ahead and talk to your doctor, even if you're still pregnant, and oftentimes it's covered by insurance and we don't even know. So it's a good idea to work with a medical professional. But in pregnancy, you might have it if you start to see signs of what we call coning. So that is just when we're putting some pressure on the abdominal wall, our abs go into a little bit of a point. So I'm gonna show you what that looks like in just a minute, but just know if you see coning in your pregnancy, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have diastasis. It might, but it doesn't necessarily mean that, but it does mean that whatever you're doing is putting too much pressure on your abs and you need to stop. So that's the reason that we tell you not to do crunches or your traditional ab work, but that's also why most of us will tell you in your second and third trimesters to avoid planks, push-ups, anything in that position that's gonna put pressure on that abdominal wall. I didn't have, even though I knew that in my first pregnancy, I didn't see any signs of it, so I would still sometimes do some planks or push-ups at an incline, or I would demonstrate a plank or a push-up. In this pregnancy, I started seeing it really early on. So my advice now is once you're showing it all, once you're in that second or third trimester, just avoid all of that core work that puts pressure on your abs. I have a lot of safe postnatal core workouts that you can check out on those channels. Again, I will link them here. Shows you what you can do, but avoid those. So just to show you a little bit of what the coning looks like. So I noticed it first when I was doing something like this, like pulling my hair up, hooking a sports bra, anything where I'm leaning back, but also going down on my back. So just to show you here, so there's a reason in pregnancy we tell you to go down on your side if you're going down to get in bed or down for a workout like this and come up from this. The reason is that puts a lot of pressure on your abs. So if you watch me here, trying not to do too much of this, but as I lean back, my abs go into a little bit of a point. So that's an indication that there may be some separation or that I'm putting too much pressure. So as I go down, and that's even hard for me to do because I don't have the strength, everything's going this way a little bit. Another way I noticed is early on in my classes and videos, I was still trying to demonstrate a plank and then come up out of it, not stay in it too long, and I noticed it pretty quickly. So if I go into a plank here, so I would tell you to modify everything on your hands and knees because we don't have that pressure, but even in an incline, you can kind of see, I'm not gonna stay here very long, but it kind of goes into a little bit of a point there. From the side, looks like this. Too much pressure pointing down. When you look down, it looks almost like a little bit of a football. So I just show you that to let you know if you see any of that in your pregnancy, stop whatever it is you're doing, even if it's just getting up from a chair. Know that that's putting too much pressure on your abdominals, and that may be increasing your chance for diastasis. All of that to say, if you have it or you think you have it, don't worry about it. The good news is there's a lot more research and programs, and I'll be doing my own videos and programs on how to repair it from exercise. Again, talk to your doctor, talk to a physical therapist or pelvic floor specialist. There are lots of options, so don't stress about it. It's much easier to diagnose and talk about in the postpartum period, which I will be doing. So look for those videos in the description below. I'll put them up as soon as I have them. So there you go. That's a little bit about diastasis recti in pregnancy, and I'll be posting more videos once I have this baby.